I mean, probably the first thing I remember about Matt Means was the letter that he sent us. And it reminds me of Nancy Crosat and all that she did for our program. But we had a lot of success in the 90s, and we were getting lots of letters, like 2,000 letters a month. And it was overwhelming for me. And Nancy helped me out, and she read this letter from Matt Means, and I can remember the letter talking about how his dad was a professor at San Jose State, and the kid seemed like a real nice kid. The letter stood out. I couldn't tell you why, maybe because of family values, but the letter stood out, and I told Nancy we need to send this kid a letter back. And we wrote a letter back to him, and then he wound up coming to school here.
Matty Means as a teammate, I mean, it's just an honor to play with him. He's a great guy. I never heard one bad thing come out of any other teammate's mouth about him. He's just a great teammate to have next to you on your team, and did anything for you, and you know, you do the same for him. And he's just a great guy. I can't say anything bad about him. I never heard one bad word about him, and all positive, great things towards Matty Means.
Very first college World Series game, and you don't know how your team's going to react in the World Series, and not everybody can play in those kinds of games. They're not relaxed and they're not poised. But Matty was our number one pitcher on that team, and he took the ball and he threw a great game. I think he gave up one run, but that might be wrong. He might not have even given up a run. We scored a lot of runs, and he didn't give up very much. But I remember his demeanor and how composed he was, and the way he, held himself on the field was like inspirational to all the players, and we played really well that day.
First off, his work on the field, of course. He's a great competitor. He gave it his all every single day. You knew that you were going to get that out of him as a coach, as a teammate, and then just the teammate aspect. Just a great person to have around. You knew that he was always going to have your back, and you can't ask for anything more out of a teammate.
He led by example, which is what all great leaders do, and he was just an inspirational player, and his teammates love him and I love him.
We have a lot of memories. We've had Super Bowl parties at his place. He lived next to the golf course and had the Lefty house, and we would all go over there and hang out. And
he lived, it's funny, his house, there were all left-handers in his house. It was Gino Lovezzo and Slater, and I wish I could remember who the fourth one was, but all the guys that lived at his house were left-handers, and he was a left-handed pitcher.
And we would do a lot of outside of team practice functions together, and we always had a blast. Never any issues. He's just a great guy to have around, always having smiles, and good heart. Always upbeat, and just a kind-hearted man.
Played the game to the best of his ability, and he was a good listener, easy to coach, well liked. I always tell people that I try to coach our players like they're my own kids, and Matty Means is one of those guys that you'd be proud if he were your son. He's just a fantastic person. Baseball aside, if he were the worst baseball player in the world, you'd still love him.
It's well deserved. He definitely worked for it, and it showed, and it paid off with his results. He had a great career here at Sonoma, and then got a chance in affiliated ball after here, and couldn't ask for anything else. And I think he gave it his all. And we just have, I guess, just a lot of memories and good times together. Along with this hard work on the field, and it's well deserved.
His wife is fantastic. He's got a great family. He's a great dad. I mean, he's obviously, he wouldn't be going in the Hall of Fame if he wasn't a fantastic person. He really is.